Okay, so before we get started with this episode, I have to do a quick disclaimer. I am not an investment advisor.
Nor am I.
All of our opinions are our own. None of this info should be used at any time today or in the future to form any basis for investment advice for any person, including you, our listener. Everything you will hear on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and informational purposes only, so please do not take any of this as investment advice.
And with that, please enjoy this episode.
Boom, baby. Hello and welcome back to the VisionVerse podcast. My name is Jordan Powers.
Jaden Reed.
And today we are joined by the one, the only, Daniel Gray.
What's up?
What is going on, my man?
Living the dream, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm stoked to have you because we're two dummies when it comes to this NFT and the whole Web3 world. And it seems that you are an expert already in this world as far as I can tell. So I'm really stoked to have you on and kind of teach us a little bit about what you're doing. And hopefully our audience can gain a lot from that as well.
No, I really appreciate it. Definitely not an expert yet, but on the climb. On the climb for sure.
That's what all experts say when they're actually experts. Yeah, man, maybe you can tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do.
100%. So my name is Mr. Daniel Gray. Been in the crypto space for about the last 3 years. As of right now, I started an agency actually called Gray Matter, where we're actually going to be working with NFT projects to help them become successful.
Dope.
The first project that obviously wanted to get off the ground was RuffLife Rescues. I'm very passionate about the project because I actually have a dog that's 17 years old. He's still alive. The guy's just crushing life, bro. We got
Doesn't go by dog years, eh?
No, yeah, he's like over 100 for sure. But yeah, we got him 16 and a half years ago from the SPCA. And being an investor in, the NFT space myself, at least for the last 7-8 months now, I just really had this vision to create a project, partner with the SPCA to give back, because, Ozzy, my dog, has been such a big part of my life, as well as being like a valuable project for holders, for people that I know in the crypto space that wanted to kind of get involved in their first project.
Yeah, sweet. That's so cool, the kind of charity aspect of the whole project. That seems to be the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand with NFTs is it's not just like a JPEG or an image that you can copy and have on your background. There's actual like utility and value that is being held with a lot of these NFTs.
Totally. Yeah, and from what I saw, at least, I saw, all these different NFT projects. There's so much money, in the space. And I was like, man, it would be so cool to do an NFT project where 40% is going back to the charity, which is the largest that I've seen in a lot of projects. Some other projects are like, oh, we're giving 10% to this,
nice.
This random charity. And yeah, I think there's a real play in the NFT space just in the future, bringing in crypto donations. And that's what's really cool with our project. We actually have a 6-figure donation going to the SPCA this week,
wow.
which is going to be really exciting. And it's going to be, and this is, at least from my research, the largest crypto donation to date in Canada.
Oh, crazy.
So
man.
If someone's made a donation,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. If somebody's made a donation bigger, they're just not public about it.
Right.
But
damn, that is so wild. Okay.
Yeah, congrats. Good for you.
thank you. Appreciate it.
I think I want to start a little bit though on just what are NFTs from your perspective for the people out there that are completely clueless in this realm.
That's a great question. The cool thing is they can honestly be anything, and I know you guys bring a lot of, different artists, musicians, on your podcast. I think this is what's gonna make sense is the traditional style NFT that when people think about is like a collectible, right? So, right now in the real world, somebody has a painting, they've made one painting of that. They can go resell it at an auction, it's gone. They never know where that painting ended up. It could get resold for $10 million, down the line at a different auction. That original artist never receives,
right.
A dime. And that's what's cool with NFTs on the collectible side is somebody's able to create this digital asset, this art, and it's tracked forever on the blockchain. So if it's resold, that original artist can actually earn royalties consistently for that artwork. On the other side of that, people can turn, albums into NFTs. They can create a project like mine where there's a utility, a use case behind it. There's like Bored Ape Yacht Club where you're part of a club. So that's kind of the real side of where it's going now. But just on the basic side, non-fungible token, it's something that can't be copied or created. Obviously, somebody could take a photo of it, but that photo doesn't have value.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something you have to think about when looking at projects, right? Is like, where's that money going?
Yep.
If it's not game development or yacht parties, where is it going? Like, hopefully not to just the guy's pocket for no reason. Like, so for you to spend that money on the SPCA, that's huge. And yeah, definitely do your research.
Totally. That's the biggest thing too with doing research in this space. And like I'd invested in over 30 projects before creating my own project. And man, I was a part of rug pulls. I was a part of projects that just like vanished.
Right.
And so I created basically this checklist of when I'm going to be investing in NFT projects, what are the main, check marks of it? Number one was, do they have a fully doxed team? So what that means is, are they transparent with who's behind them? Right. So when you look at these guys, can you see their faces? Can you see their names? Do they have a social media? They're not just like fake accounts have been created. So I'm like, okay, these are real people that are putting their personal name and reputation on the line, behind this project. And then number two was, do they have an actual use case and a utility? Is there a way to earn royalties or get access to something for being a part of it? And number three was, they're following their Discord, their social media. Are they real people that are following this project, or are they just fake? Those are kind of my main three. And that's why when I started this project, I was like, dude, we got to do everything organic. We got to be fully transparent with everything we do. And we got to have like a real utility and a use case.
Dope. What was the first NFT project that you kind of like heard about that got you super stoked about this world?
Yeah, I was actually on an app called Vivo, and I bought a collectible Spider-Man NFT, which is pretty cool. The one thing with that app though is that you can't, you can just transact these NFTs within that app. You still can't sell it for money. So that's just kind of the first thing that got into me is like, man, I own this like Spider-Man. There was like 5,000 of them created. I think it's still worth like $200 or something.
Crazy.
But then I really started getting into, looking at OpenSea, looking at different Solana projects. And the first like real project that I started getting into wasn't until, September of like really heavily starting investing into this space. And it was a project called Soul Yetis. And it was pretty cool. They had 8,888 unique NFTs of these like digital Yetis with all these different attributes and stuff. And the one thing though is they didn't really have like a use case or utility, but it was my first project. So I got into it and they had 8 random holders got gifted $10,000.
Oh, whoa.
And I was like, whoa. So it kind of brings in that lottery aspect where just by, buying one of these things for $200, you get like 10 grand.
Nice.
So that's kind of why I got into it. They're not worth like anything today, but
were you one of those people that hit on the 10 grand or?
No.
Oh, damn.
I wish.
That would have been sick.
I wish. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club was the first one I saw where I was just like, oh, this makes sense to me. Like I think it really came onto my radar when they signed that like entertainment deal with like Madonna's like agency or something like that, and yeah, that made a lot of sense to me. You just bought an NFT, didn't you?
I've done a couple transactions. Nothing's panned out overly well. Yeah. So just to get back to what you were saying, did you start on Solana blockchain?
Yeah. So the first NFT that I actually bought, not on like Vivo or these like secondary sites, was on Solana.
Yeah. See, that's where I started. Lower gas fees, more instant transactions.
Yep.
You're not fighting as many bots. So yeah, that's where I started. First thing I found one morning, like a couple hours after launch, it had some traction, and I still wasn't even where I am this week, like with my research and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Pulled the trigger.
How to do? Like,
tank.
Is the floor price up or just tank?
No, I don't even. Yeah, it maybe was like a little bit, like 0.005.
Yeah.
Or something, and then just went down. I ended up selling it for half price, and then got into another one that I've just been holding. No traction on Magic Eden or anything. So then, this last week I kind of, not that I wanted to fully jump into the Ethereum blockchain, but I wanted to start like dabbling. And so there's a couple projects I was looking at. Almost pulled the pin, but there's been gas wars the last few nights and
that's crazy.
This week. So
what is gas wars? I heard that on the Gary V and Milk Boys podcast also.
I don't have like an exact definition, but from what I've seen, my understanding is basically when there's a lot of volume and a lot of Ethereum being traded and mined, a lot of transactions are going through, that results in, it takes the gas fee is essentially to pay for the mining for Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything. So it's just like when there's a lot of volume and there are peak times between time zones and everything, like when we're competing with Asia and stuff, like in those small time frames, you have a lot of people online. So the price goes up.
Yeah, like today I bought 2 NFTs today from a project called Animu on the Ethereum chain. The gas fees on the first NFT that I bought was $58, and the gas fees on the second NFT I bought was $174.
Oh,
and it was within maybe 3 minutes.
Really?
I got quoted. I went to go buy something secondary like right after the mint the other day. $17,000 in gas I got quoted.
$17,000
on a 0.069 or something Ethereum trade.
That's wild. And so wait, do you primarily trade on Solana or Ethereum?
Yeah, I do Solana mainly. I just did this one Ethereum project because I believe in the project.
Yeah.
But like the main reason why we chose like Solana for RuffLife, for example, is because we're giving 40% of our proceeds to charity. You know, if someone was going to buy, 2 or 3 dogs, it's basically, the current price about $200 Canadian to pay, $130 in fees to buy one $200 NFT. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just more money back in the project's, pockets back to, what their, use cases, their utility and what they're going to do.
Yeah. And I guess you probably want to like incentivize people to buy it and donate, and if that money's gonna be getting donated, they don't want to like be spending like $500 that's gonna go nowhere or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Crazy. Do you know if people can write off like the purchase of one of your NFTs as like a charitable donation?
That's a great question.
It's a great question. I don't have the answer for that.
I bet the Canadian government would have no clue what to do.
Well, that's the thing. The space is just so unregulated right now that I'm actually gonna be excited when regulation comes in. That's what's gonna stop. Especially with the NFT space, like the U.S. government's talking about regulating NFTs come kind of March, April, which is going to be awesome because it's going to stop these rug pulls, and there's going to be basically a checklist that these projects are going to have to go through before they can actually go public.
Right.
Do you think we're going to see a price effect on that?
Maybe. Probably. But I think it'll be good in the long run, right? Because then you actually have validity to the space.
Well, even if you're paying a little bit more for projects that are actually happening and aren't just going to get yanked out from underneath you, I guess you're probably going to save money in the long run.
Exactly.
What have been your biggest challenges when first kind of starting this project and getting into this world?
Yeah, no, great question. I think it's just realizing that this space is ever evolving, and something that worked, especially in marketing 2 months ago, isn't going to work today.
Right.
I think one of the biggest challenges is with, there being, this kind of stigma that happened around November, December especially with Solana NFTs. There were a lot of rug pulls and a lot of projects that promised things and just didn't deliver.
Right.
So it's just been, when we launched on December 20th, there were a lot of people that have been waiting to get into our project to make sure we actually do what we say we're going to do. Like do this donation to the SPCA, create this chat for, our verified holders, start working on a roadmap. And now we have like a guy today came in and bought 25 NFTs, and he was just waiting to like hear that we were going to actually do this donation. So that's just the thing is in this space right now, there's a lot of people watching that want to get in, but they just want to make sure these projects actually do what they say they're going to do.
Right. Like kind of like solidify it a little bit. Cause I guess like you can't really tell until after you've already purchased it, and you got to so how are you getting that message out to people? Just through social media, or
social
do you guys
media.
is it just the SPCA, or is it just the BC SPCA?
Yeah, so we wanted to specifically do local where we could actually see the impact. Like, right. I think I don't want to say the wrong number, but it's over $30 million that the SPCA fundraised last year, I think, across Canada. Whereas, our local charity here in town, I think, raised a couple $100,000.
Okay.
So we wanted to do it local where we could actually see the impact of the donation that we're giving.
Right. And so I guess those people who are interested in buying, they can almost they contact the BC SPCA or see their social media channels that they're getting money from you guys, or?
Yeah. So we're going to do a big push this week.
Nice.
For sure. Yeah. We finally come in with a press release for it and have them share us out and stuff too.
Oh, it's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
We'll be looking out.
Yeah.
My roommates and I, we were just kind of messing around, and we created this the kind of foundation for this NFT project that we're calling a Club Plant Daddy.
Oh, fun.
It's just these super dumb characters, but they've all got their unique traits and stuff like that. And we were thinking about doing some sort of charitable aspect to it as well, where a percentage of the money created goes to funding some sort of green energy startup or green technology startup. But yeah, we have no clue what we're doing. We've just created the artwork so far.
Really cool, man.
Yeah, it should be interesting. But
one thing that's been on my mind, completely a little bit more random. Are you familiar with airdropping on your end of things?
Yep.
Okay. How does it work?
How does it work?
If you were gonna airdrop to me,
then
would you just need my public wallet, and you were able to do that?
Yeah. So we actually have an airdrop going to our holders after we go public on secondary market sales, which is going to be second week of February. So we created these puppies. The artist is actually almost done, created them. And we said for our phase 1 minters, which ended on December 31st, they actually get a puppy of their NFT, which is going to have the same utility in the dog park. So they'll have basically 2 NFTs now that when we create this dog park in the metaverse, they'll be able to go in with either their dog or this like puppy dog. And it was about 2,000 something holders that we had by December 31st. So basically we have a snapshot of all their wallets. So that as soon as we want to do this airdrop, what my coder is basically going to go in and just airdrop this NFT to all the holders.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. So you have plans for like people in the metaverse to be walking around with these little dogs in the future.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. That's the kind of stuff that gasses me up because I was saying off camera, like anybody who's grew up playing RuneScape or Pokemon or World of Warcraft, I think they'll understand that completely when they realize that we're all going to be walking around in this world, and you're gonna want a puppy beside you. You're gonna want your own little dog in the metaverse. That'd be sick.
Yeah, we have a super like huge vision. I'll just say stay tuned for like what that's gonna look like. But we have a crazy vision. We can't even talk about it because I'm like we're not ready to build it just yet. Like we're a couple months out, and if I talk about it, somebody else is gonna do it.
Okay,
like that's where we're at with this idea. But no, we have like some pretty cool vision for what we're gonna do with it.
And so you got a whole team behind you on this, like you said, developers, marketing guys. Like that's how big's your team?
I got a team of 12 behind the RuffLife project.
Damn.
Yeah, one of the biggest ones on my team, his name's Nick Menezes. He's actually the marketing director for Pila phone cases.
Okay, yeah.
In town. So I don't know if you're familiar with Pila.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so he's been with them for like 5 years, and he's just got this like crazy creative brains. He's one of like the whole creative side of our marketing plan. He came in as like my CMO, and he's involved in the project at a high level. And another guy, a local guy you might know, is Garrett Bradley. He's coded 4 other NFT projects, 3 on Polygon, 1 on Solana.
Okay.
And so he came in, he was my coder developer and built that all out. And yeah, we have like 4 people on our social team. We have a whole team running the Discord, running our community. And that was another thing you said about, your question earlier about how we're going to like get this out. We have over 9,000 people in our Discord now.
Oh, wow.
Which are just following our project and, waiting. And right now I think we're at about over 25% sold out. So when you look at the numbers of how many we've actually sold versus how many people are literally watching and waiting,
Right, and then I guess that's when the trading's going to come in, or people are going to be buying at a higher price if it's in demand. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's so dope. Discord's like seems to be the main place that all these conversations are happening, eh?
Yeah, and what's funny is I used to, back when I was in high school, I used to play like Counter-Strike Global, and I used to like League of Legends and stuff, and I used Discord to like communicate with my friends while we were
so you're already an expert in there.
Well, it's not even like I just kind of used it, and then when I saw Discord was being used for these NFT projects, I'm like, man, how cool is that? Like it's bridging this gap with like the whole gaming side of crypto and NFTs as well is just really exciting to me.
Yeah, damn, dude. Wow, I'm just like digesting everything that's being said right now. I'm trying to put it in my mental file cabinet.
So do you own any NFTs yet?
Bro, I bought a stupid beige square off of like the FTX platform or whatever. Like, when I was first getting in, because I didn't. So I heard about Bitcoin back in like 2013. When I was graduating, my friend Aiden Basher was like, "Yo, buy some Bitcoin," and I didn't listen to him. And I probably would have never made it to the point where I would have been able to, sell that Bitcoin off for millions of dollars. But so then once I saw like the jump in price over the past couple of years, I started paying attention, and I threw just like $250 into crypto. It was just like, I just got to start messing around with this stuff just to see and learn. And so then I did the same thing with NFTs. I was just like, they're on FTX, they had like this little NFT market, and there was this beige square. It was $15, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna buy it. And I think I still own it, but that's literally the only one I got. Yeah, so I gotta start messing around more with like actually buying and selling. But I'm more just interested in the future kind of aspects of it right now, because I wouldn't be really interested in buying anything for the art. It would have to have some sort of like utility and value to it.
Totally.
So something like your NFT project, I'd be super into. And then obviously something like a Bored Ape would be sick. Go those yacht club parties that they're throwing and stuff like that. But
that's one of my goals. I'd love to get into the Bored Ape circle. I actually a project that I actually invested in 2 weeks ago was called Bored Ape Breakfast Club.
Okay.
And one of the really cool utilities with Bored Ape is that by owning their NFT, they give you the 100% legal rights to go and redistribute and market that ape for whatever.
Interesting.
So that's what's really unique with them is, there's 4 apes that got together and they branded the 4 apes that they own on a coffee company. So they're actually gonna be selling coffee, and by owning this NFT, and it's like a whole headline, on Facebook, it's my cover photo right now, but it's kind of unique. It's like the NFT is like literally like this big, and it's like meant for cover on Twitter and Facebook. and it's like the hands of an ape like eating breakfast with all these like different scenes behind it. And so for owning this NFT, I'm actually gonna get airdrop. I'm gonna get sent. So I gave them my like physical address here in Kelowna, and they're gonna mail me a bag of coffee for every 2 months for the next year.
Oh, sick.
That's tight.
Yeah. So it's like $300 for like 6 bags of coffee. But I'm like, that's pretty cool because it's gonna have the branding of these Bored Apes on it.
Yeah. So it's just taking like the subscription model almost and like completely changing it and future proofing it for like this Web3 world.
Yeah.
Crazy. Could these people go and like if they had a Bored Ape, number 347 that's saying it had all these cool attributes, and then like this guy goes off and blows up online, could he like sell the rights to that ape or like the imaging to that ape to like a entertainment company, and they could go make a whole spin-off TV show with that specific ape?
100%, yeah.
I've actually heard of that.
Yeah.
People doing like they're gonna make comics or little skits based off of the characters as NFT projects.
Right. Wild.
It was
And
just a comic book just came out with one of the Bored Apes.
Oh,
That's
really?
crazy.
Yeah.
What's it called?
No idea.
Okay.
I just heard about it.
That's
I'm
sick.
on so many different forums. I just like see it's just like feeds of information like every day.
Well, and everything's just happening so fast.
So
Also,
quick. It's just information overload.
yeah, I'm follow on Instagram. It's just Metaverse, but like the third E in there is spelled with a 3 rather than an E, and they post updates on everything that's kind of happening in like the Metaverse world and Web3 world, and it seems like every single day there's a post of like a giant corporation getting involved. And it's just, oh, Disney's involved now. Oh, Nike's involved now. Oh, Adidas is involved now. It's every day it's somebody new.
Yeah, like we were just talking for the podcast. Yeah, like Walmart just got involved. Like they have Walmart coin coming out, and they're gonna have a whole metaverse where you can buy stuff.
So wild.
A token, an NFT, and metaverse space. Whether they're gonna develop their own, or whether they're gonna jump into Sandbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one I'm like, I can't even understand. Like, I don't know what it's gonna look like. Are we gonna be walking through Walmart and still like jumping in the pillow section and like the basketball?
Hey, you just won't get in trouble for it now. That's
True.
gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, I think we should take a quick break, hear from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with the second segment.
Let's do it.
Nice. And we're back. So what are some things that you kind of stay away from in this whole NFT world? You were saying like hyped up projects and stuff like that are kind of weird in your opinion.
Yeah, like that's one of the big things that people look at when they look at NFT projects is like, oh, is there hype behind this? A lot of people think that's why they want to get into it. And that's where I see two different types of investors in the NFT space. It's like the flippers and like the investors. People that are going to hold long term.
Right.
And so that's where these hype projects come in. It attracts a lot of these flippers. So I personally, like, I'm a long-term holder. That's just my investment style. I stay away from all projects, that are hyped out. Like we were just saying, like, this Nelk Boys project that's coming out, so overhyped. And they might do some really cool things for the people that, get involved in the project. But just the amount of hype behind it for me scares me a little bit because I think there's a lot of people that are going to be waiting there to click that button and try to flip it immediately after, which could instantly tank the price.
And I guess like Gary Vee's kind of famous right now for saying like he's famous for a lot of reasons, but he's been saying like 98% of NFT projects are going to like die. That's basically what he's saying in the future. But those 2% that stick around are going to be like huge investment opportunities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like 90% of sales right now are flips.
Oh, really?
I think he was saying, some high number.
Holy crap. Yeah, because I guess that's what's getting the major headlines is like 14-year-old kid in like, fucking Dallas, Texas makes $300 million flipping NFTs. Yeah. And then there's your average person reading that headline who's like working for like $20 an hour. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to?
Dude, the crazy thing though is most of those are fake, which is like the hardest thing for me being in the space. Like we did a lot of our marketing was actually through TikTok. And so we looked at a bunch of TikTok pages, and there were some pages, man, that had like 200,000 followers, but all they did was be like zooming in on this NFT worth $100, and it's like zoom out. And it's worth 180,000. But then you like look at the photo and you're like, dude, he just listed it for 180,000. Like it's not like it was
didn't actually sell.
So it's like, I just bought this for this and now it's worth this.
Right.
And so we actually didn't like invest in those pages. We didn't sponsor our project through those pages because we're like, those aren't the type of people that we're trying to attract.
Right.
We're not trying to attract the people that are like, oh, I want to flip this RuffLife NFT from $200 into 180,000. I'm like, dude, let's be realistic. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. We're like a long-term project.
And it will delegitimize you in the future also if people are like, oh, they're just on this kind of like fake site that's just putting out fake news and shit like that.
Exactly.
Who are some of like the credible people that you go to get your information? Like, are you following certain people that you're on Twitter or Instagram, or is there a certain like magazine or something like that you're always getting into?
Yeah, so I actually pay a couple different places. I don't want to plug anything on here right now, but I do pay a couple different places, you know, monthly subscriptions to get access to them. Okay. Like some guys that are 7-figure crypto traders, guys that are big in the NFT space that are every single day like putting in 5-6 hours a day into just studying what's happening. So I pay for signals from them and stuff. Yeah, I find a lot of the free stuff that you see, like if you're looking for like crypto education or NFT education, you're looking on YouTube or on TikTok, a lot of the stuff you're gonna see is already a week old.
Yeah.
So that's where I find like that's why I go to pay people, is because it's like I want to hear what's happening right now.
Right. And are you finding these people on like Twitter and stuff like that and just kind of getting through it, or these Discord channels?
Some Discord channels, a lot through the network that I've built now that I've been linked up to.
Yeah. You said you're speaking at like a Web3 conference coming up here in Okanagan. Can you tell me more about that? Yeah,
this is really exciting. So it's called Web3 Okanagan, and there's this guy, his name's Joshua Fraser. He owns a company, I think it's called like Data Nerds here in town.
Yeah, okay, I know Data Nerds.
Yeah, so I think he started that company. And so he went on Facebook and was like, hey, I want to get involved. You know, I want to like get involved with these guys that are hosting this crypto event in Kelowna. It's going to be on February 15th. Who does my network know that's like a young guy in Kelowna that's like big in crypto? There's literally like 7 people that tagged my name on the post.
Yeah, dope.
So him and I just started talking. This was around Christmas time. And then he introduced me to a guy named Chris Bertulli, who's just a big angel investor here in town. Very, very well-known guy, like just investing in lots of companies. His brother is Matt Bertulli, who is the guy that founded Pila Phone Case. And they're also involved with Jason Sabanga, who's the guy that started Big Steel Box here in town and sold that. Dope. So he's involved now with like the Metro Community Hall, which is where like the homeless people are sleeping and stuff right now through the winter. So he's on the board of that area, and they just wanted to do this event around Web3, crypto, NFTs, DeFi, and DAOs. And they have these huge speakers, man. Like one of the top 3 biggest exchanges in Canada right now is called Newton. And the CEO of Newton's coming to Kelowna to speak at this event.
Whoa.
They have this guy called Bookcoin who's creating an NFT around, people will buy, there can be like 1,000 copies of this book. You have to own the NFT to get access to this book. So like Bookcoin guy is going to be there. They have CEO of Newton. They've got like Matt speaking. They have this other guy, Dan Martell, speaking, who's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, big in crypto. He's coming here. So just this massive lineup of people, man.
That's wild.
And so I'm just super grateful that I was like able to get connected with these guys, because you are like the 5 people that you surround yourself with. I'm always trying to like level up
the people
I'm
just thinking
around.
that as you were saying it.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful as a young guy in this space to get around, you know, high level people like this. And they were looking for an MC. So I'm actually going to be emceeing the event.
Oh, wicked, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. So whether, I don't know if I'm going to be emceeing the whole event or just certain segments of it, but basically I'm going to be the guy walking around with the mic. We're going to have tables set up. You know, people be able to ask questions of these high level speakers and stuff. I'll get to plug RuffLife, of course, briefly and do that. Nice. But more so just there to like provide value, like I'm not getting paid or anything. I'm just like, dude, I want to help.
Of course.
Any way I can.
Just one of those experiences where it doesn't matter if you're getting paid or not. You just want to be there.
Yeah. And what's cool, so the tickets are, they're only doing 100 in-person tickets, and then it's going to be virtual. I think they're almost sold out. You guys should probably buy tickets to it. It's going to be a pretty sick event.
Yeah, we were talking about it actually. We're like, we got to figure out how to get tickets for this.
Connections and see if we can show up the camera or something and get in. But yeah, we'll see what's up.
So so it's $100 a ticket, but they're donating 100% of proceeds to charity.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. So that's what I love about this space, right? Is they're just there to literally provide free value to anybody that wants to listen.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is like when you do your research and you find communities, Discord channels, guys that you trust, everybody, I mean, like so far people that I found, they just want other people to come up with them. Like they were where we are, like learning, not making a lot of gains at the beginning. They figured it out. Now all they want to do is share that information.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty tight community for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that too with Solana projects. Like, now that I've started networking, we're doing these Twitter AMAs and Q&As and stuff. We're just going live on Twitter and talking about our project. We're doing collaborations with other Solana-based NFT projects. And man, literally every single Solana based NFT project that I've reached out to, like for advice, they're like, let's get on the phone. Like, how can I help you? This is what worked for us. This is what didn't. That's why I love Solana specifically. I feel like with Ethereum, I don't know why. It's just, there's a lot of like hype around Ethereum, and there's a lot of these guys that I feel like just want to make a lot of money. Dude, Solana is such a sick community. To be honest, like everybody that I've met through the Solana space are just good people that just like want to see other people win in crypto.
Sick. Can you plug the date and location and all that, where people can find tickets for that Web3 event real quick?
Yeah, so it's February 15th. It's called Web3 Okanagan, and it's at Metro Community Hall. I don't know if you can do a pop-up with, I don't know the link to it or anything.
We'll put the link in the description for sure, but yeah, we'll probably have like the logo pop-up or something like that. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying to go to that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, I can't remember what made me think about this, but like decentralization is such like a big part of this world also. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll speak to it as much as I can. That's, to be honest with you, DeFi is something that I'm heavily like personally like learning right now.
Right.
But basically the coolest thing about, decentralized finance and just being, with this whole idea of becoming a digital nomad and, living off the grid this year. So for basically almost the whole year of 2021, last year, I was a digital nomad. I was actually traveling. I was all over Miami. I was down in Dallas. I went and lived in Costa Rica with my girlfriend for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And what's cool with this whole decentralized finance idea is the ability to have a wallet and have your crypto be completely decentralized. So you can be wherever in the world and not have to worry about, moving your money between these banks or these financial institutions that hold your money. Like one of my business partners, her name's Shanda Wright. She's actually down in Panama right now. And she was saying her mom's down in Ecuador and her mom needed like some money. So she was like, oh, I want to send like $5,000 to my mom. So she tried to do like a bank draft from her bank to her mom in Ecuador, and they wouldn't do it. Like her bank literally was just like, oh, might be a five-day processing time, might be up to a week. And, we'll see what we can do to get this bank draft down to her. And she's like, F that. And she basically sent her mom $5,000 in crypto from her decentralized wallet, like instant transaction. Wow. So that's where I see the real future. You have countries like El Salvador, bringing on crypto and stuff. That's where I see a lot of these third world countries, this whole new shift of, generational wealth coming in, is moving that money out of these massive financial institutions and kind of like keeping it in the pockets of the people.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the idea of like a Bitcoin and stuff also being like not really a fiat currency as well. There's being this limited amount to it, and like almost going back to, in a way, that like gold standard that we used to have like way back in the day. Now, I'm no finance dude, so I don't know like all the ins and outs of it, but I just find it interesting because we're moving into that direction, it feels like. Yeah. What's the worry about like regulation though and stuff? Like you said you're stoked about it, but is that more in the NFT space, in the crypto space? When we're talking about currencies, can it get a little dicey?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, for sure. Like I'm more excited about NFT space.
Right.
And just what's funny to me, so they've been trying to regulate crypto for like 3 years. Okay. In the US, they've been saying, oh, we're going to regulate, and they just keep pushing back the date. And it's because it's honestly hard for these like 60, 70-year-old guys that are like on the board of directors for the SEC. And they're like, oh, there's this imaginary coin and like, you got to like tax it, but then it's like, they see a photo, an NFT, and they're like, oh, I can see that. So they can understand it. You know what I mean? So they're going to be putting the same probably tax regulations and whatever on NFTs that they do on like art, like the sale of art. Right. Whereas like with crypto, it's just such a unique space. So these guys just don't understand it.
That's such a good point. I remember looking at the footage of Mark Zuckerberg at one of these like Senate hearings or whatever, and he's trying to explain Facebook and how they collect data. And you can tell these dudes are asking the question, just have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, like they were just born, 40 years before the internet was even created.
Yeah,
so it's hilarious.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's so wild. Are you viewed as like kind of like by like your peers or maybe family members that aren't aware of what the space is and the potential for it? Are they just like, oh, there's Daniel talking about these internet dogs again? Like, are
people think I'm nuts, bro. like you asked me like what I do at the start of the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been crypto and then this different thing. But it's like, for somebody that doesn't understand crypto NFTs, it's like, dude, this guy goes and sells JPEGs of animated dogs,
right?
Online, and he trades like fake money, digital money, and he just travels the world. It's like, what does this guy do?
Yeah, sounds like a good storyline.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like the beginning of a movie.
Yeah, but that's real life now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Does that get you stoked because you're like, man, I'm so early on this stuff? Like,
yeah, it's like that conversation, right, where you said, you could have bought into Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah.
I still think we're early adopters, man. Like when you look at the percentage of people that are actually involved in crypto, I was watching a different podcast the other day, and I forget who it was, but the guy on the podcast said people are like, when do I sell my crypto? When do I get out? And it's like, no, you don't understand. The idea is that you won't sell your crypto.
Totally.
Like you will just have crypto. Yeah. That will be your form of currency.
Yeah. You're not going to go and sell your Canadian dollars.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell my Canadian dollars. It's like, dude, for what? You're going to buy something. You know what I mean? That's the only way you'll get rid of it. So that's what I'm excited about, is we're still in that early adopter phase. And that's where, like, in the next couple of years is when regulations are going to come out. And of course it's going to affect the price. But again, even being early adopters like we are now, we'll still be up from where we are.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about. Like, with your point as well, my view on this and why I got into it is because it is early and I didn't want to be kicking myself in the ass the way I am now with Bitcoin. Yeah. And yeah, like even you look at OpenSea or NFT, there's 100,000 sellers on OpenSea and there's like 13 million on eBay.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shows you, even though things there's gas wars and people are pumping this and that, there's so much more to come. It's a waking giant.
Totally.
Wow. Is that really how many people there are on OpenSea? Like,
yeah, I saw it this week. I can't give a source, but
I think it's there's a number. It's over. It's like 1 million people or something that have a wallet set up for NFTs. I think it's over 1 million.
Oh
but
my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's still
Maybe
so small.
That's still so small. Yeah.
That might have just been OpenSea, like, currently,
or like Flippers
platform or something.
Yeah.
That's so small.
Yeah.
Considering, like, there's going to be a point just like when, who knows how old you are, 12, 13, you start a paper route, and your parents go and finally open up that checking account for you, and you're going to get your own debit card. Like, every kid's going to have that moment with a crypto wallet because they're all going to want to buy, brand new skins for their Fortnite stuff or for their, League of Legends stuff or whatever it may be. Yeah, that's gonna be millions and millions and millions and millions of people are gonna be using this.
So here's a story for you. Like you said like how many users are on eBay. So when I was like 16, I used to play tons of games when I was a kid, and that's what I'm really excited about the future, kind of what we're doing with this dog park and stuff. But I played a ton of League of Legends. I probably spent like over $1,000 for sure on like skins for my characters in League of Legends, man. Like as a kid, I got my first job when I was 13, actually stocking shelves at Quality Greens here in town.
Nice.
And the only reason why I got the job is because I was like playing games. I just want to like buy more games and like get a new laptop. But I built this account up. I was like a high rank, and this would have been like my first experience in sales. Is I sold my League of Legends account on eBay for $600.
Oh, interesting.
I remember that being a big thing, even though it was like a loss because I'd spent more money like up front. But like think about, that's the future of what NFTs are now. Right. It's like as this NFTs become more gamified, and you can create these NFTs that can be resold. People can sell their whole wallets full of NFTs.
Isn't that why what's his name, like Vikalis, or the guy who's created Ethereum, like he started it because he lost all of his stuff on World of Warcraft?
I think so.
Yeah, like he was like a hardcore World of Warcraft player, and he spent years like building this character, and then one day he logged into the program and just all of his World of Warcraft stuff was gone, and he was like, why don't I like actually own this stuff? What's going on here? I just spent so much time and so much money building up this character, and now it's just gone because of some mistake for the company. And so, yeah, he created Ethereum like kind of out of spite.
Yeah.
That could be one of those like little legends that you hear also that's blown out of proportion a bit. But
how old is he? He's like 26, I think, or something, right?
Something crazy.
Dude, first time I saw that dude, I was like, this is who?
Yeah,
this guy?
Yeah.
He's a funny character.
And yeah, the FTX guy also, he's like, I think he's like the richest dude under 30 or something like that.
Yeah,
he's like a multi-billionaire at this
That's
point.
what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh, I'm so young in this space, but I'm like, when I look at like who else is started these companies and stuff, I'm like, man, like right on track.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you're still early. We're all still early. That was part of the reason why we started this show. Is there's this guy G Money NFT on Instagram, and when I found him like 2 months ago, and he was interviewing dudes like Gary Vee. He was speaking at like this New York kind of crypto event that was happening, where like Quentin Tarantino had taken some of the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood scenes and created like these never before scenes into NFTs. And so now somebody just owns this behind the scenes, or like this deleted scene that nobody else does, and they just own it as an NFT. But he was talking to these people, and he had like 9,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I know people in town who've got like 30, 40, like and like this guy's talking to major players, but he's only got 9,000 followers on Instagram, and now within 2 months he's blown up to like 20, 30,000. But
I think I saw like 33 today.
Still the very, very beginning.
I think the biggest thing for that too is he was probably just trying to provide value, right?
Yeah.
It's like a topic that these guys wanted to talk about. It's like the same thing. You guys reached out to me. This is a topic I'm stoked about. You know, if you came on, you're like, hey man, I want you to come on and, you know, like talk about, you know, like the environment. Like I'm passionate about the environment too, but I'm like, dude, I couldn't talk about the environment for an hour. You know what I mean? It's like I want to talk about something that I'm like in every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What's the most, like, what are you most hyped about right now? What, like, have you been waking up and just being like gassed up about, whether it's your project or something you're seeing out there?
Yeah, honestly, man, like especially the last month and a half since Rough Life's like really been coming around, I'm snapping out of bed, man. I'm so fired up about this project because, like I kind of said earlier, you know, we started this agency. Is I was like, when I had this vision before Rough Life even came around, I was like, man, I just want to help, you know, artists and help, you know, musicians and help people that want to get in the NFT space just get in and like bridge that gap and make it super simple for them. You know, and then now that Rough Life is coming around, I was like, it's so important that Rough Life is successful because otherwise I got like no credibility.
That's your proof of concept of
exactly.
I know what's up in this world. Yeah, of course.
And now that we're like on track to sell out and we're like on track to be a player in the Solana space, I'm like, dude, this is the next couple of months are gonna be really cool. So you know, not just for me, but for my team, for the holders, for the investors, like for everybody that's come around, like this is just gonna be really, really exciting.
That's so sick. Sweet. Okay, we're gonna take one more quick break, and then we'll be back for our final segment.
Let's go.
Your next shoot will be a huge success. Cameras, lights, audio, lenses, and more. Head over to video.equipment for Kelowna's largest selection of gear. They have flexible and affordable pricing, and will even match or beat prices for any similar gear from their local competitors. Highly recommend them, guys. Video.equipment, check them out.
Yeah, huge thanks from us to Kelly. He's helped us out many times with the podcast and at many other projects in the past. So any lights, camera, lenses, audio that you need, Kelly's got you.
Got it all. Boom. Video.equipment.
No, Irene Dow. So decentralized autonomous organization, but for her selfies with some text as her NFTs, Logan Paul bought 3 or 5 or something. I just watched them absolutely skyrocket the other day. I'm surprised you can random.
Well, she's just a random girl taking selfies.
We're literally in the trend of the week in NFTs seems to be
trend of the week. I like this.
Yeah,
it should be a segment.
Dude, it's just about that. I mean, like 10 days ago.
Yeah, that's cool.
10 days ago, we were looking at casino games and roulette and everything. Like that was hot. And now this week, it seems to be women in crypto and women-backed projects.
Cool.
But anyways, yeah, let me go check what the floor price was because it was a joke.
Yeah, I saw him buy that one NFT where it was like a woman, like the artwork was like super cool, like purple background and stuff like that, and it sounded like a young girl was the one who was like kind of doing the artwork for it. I don't know anything behind it, but yeah, Irene Dow, IRENEDAO, and she's just posting.
Oh yeah, okay, I saw that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the floor price looked like it tanked. What did we hit?
So, but is this one of those just hyped up NFT projects where, you know, somebody's just trying to flip it and make a quick buck, or is there anything?
What's the utility behind the project?
Irene Dow is a global grassroots movement aimed at disrupting the creator economy. Irene Dow is for the people, by the people. Our core values are simplicity, integrity, meaning, and purpose.
Sounds like a whole lot of nothing
pretty big.
with
Dude,
a little bit of something, you know?
And it popped on the 16th. It reached almost, like, let's say 2.75 ETH.
What's that now?
0.88.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just like one of those things where it's just a big trend came in, popped. People were like, why?
So I'm a part of a couple DAOs right now. And that's what I think DAOs are really cool.
Yeah.
One of the ones I invested in a project called Nifty Nanas, and they're these little like cute bananas with all these like random like little attributes on it.
Old ladies.
Nifty Nanas. Yeah. No, it's like nifty bananas, and their roadmap is like the most simple roadmap ever. They're like, we are here to feed other projects on the Solana network.
Okay.
So they minted at 0.5 Solana a pop. There was like 5,000 of them, sold out in like 11 minutes. And they went and bought 10 of our RuffLifes. And every week they come in, and me being a part of the DAO, because I own a couple of the NFTs, we vote on which project we're going to be investing in this week. and they'll go and drop 10 SOL.
And I was thinking about that today. So how does that work? How do you receive this information? Is it through a public or a private group because you're a subscriber, you're an elite member now, or?
Yeah, so it's just in their Discord.
Okay.
So they have this Discord with, you know, thousands of people in it, but because I'm a verified holder, so I've proven that in my wallet I have 2 of their nifty nanas, and then I get moved into a separate exclusive channel and chat with the other holders.
Okay.
And so there's like some guys in there that have a couple hundred, so they have more voting power on the different projects. So I'd actually go in there and sell. There's like 4 guys that own most of these things. I'd go and sell these guys like, hey, I'm the founder of this project, you know, check us out. And then they all bought into it. They all loved it. So
that's so genius. That's one of those ones where I just like, I want to like hit my head against the wall. Cause of course somebody's out there who's created a project where their whole function is to fund other NFT projects. Yep. It's so smart. Do you know if these guys are like taking money on the back end just for like their work and their services? Like they take a percentage?
Yeah. So I think they're 20%.
Yeah.
But what's really cool being a part of this DAO is so they went and bought, you know, 10 of our RuffLifes as a part of this group. They bought 5 different projects that week. This was like back in December, and they bought 10 RuffLifes, and then those just literally go into a community treasury.
Right.
So I am so there's 5,000 of these. So I basically own 2 out of 5,000%, whatever that percentage is, of all the NFTs in this wallet. And there's like almost 600 NFTs in this wallet now from different projects and stuff. So it's kind of cool. So I'm basically like entitled to this like small percentage of this DAO that's been created.
Yeah. And is there rules that are put in place where like you can only own a certain amount of these NFTs, these DAOs, so that like somebody can't just go in there, buy them all, and then just be like the main person deciding what these guys do? Or
yeah, some do. Yeah. I think this one had like a max was 200 or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is this similar to like just a regular NFT drop where they'll state on their roadmap or on their page whether you have 1, 2, 3 per wallet, or you can just go buy as many as you want on DAOs? Or like they do have them more structured?
It's the exact same thing as any other NFT.
Yeah, okay.
So basically like the decentralized autonomous organization, I think I said that right. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it is. There's no definition of what it could be. So some of them are created through a coin. So they would airdrop a coin to each holder, which you're like, oh, you own one of these coins. Now you're like a part of the DAO. For this specific one, just by owning the NFT, you're like a part of the DAO.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, because I guess like the one that it speaks to that whole decentralized thing. There's no like main CEO or like people who are in control who are kind of like just deciding. Like the whole community gets together and they're like a collective and they decide. And yeah, but I brought it up in the last podcast. I was like, well, if somebody could just go in there and buy all the governance tokens, though, then like it's not really decentralized anymore. But I guess you could build into that smart contract that you can only hold X amount of tokens. Therefore, you can't take like full on control.
So one of the things that we implemented, and this is, you know, the RuffLife project is ever evolving. This is something that we just brought in phase 2 of our project, which we didn't originally plan on. But, you know, with all the advice that we were getting, kind of what we were seeing from other projects, it's like you're like, you know, you're just building off of other projects and what they've done. So what we've done is this tiered system where the more NFTs that you own, more RuffLife NFTs, you actually get different benefits and perks.
Right.
So, you know, if you own 5+, you're in our buyers club. If you're in the 10+, now you actually get to vote on decisions. So we actually do have a DAO within our Discord, within our organization, where if you own 10+, you get to vote on things. So it's like, what are we going to name our dog park in the metaverse? Like, where are we going to build it? And we're going to be coming out to our community with, you know, basically a list of questions like, hey, these are some things that, you know, we would love your feedback on, and they can vote on what they want to happen.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's like the 10+, the 25+, like I said, is the investor club. So the 25+ are actually be weekly doing calls with our investors in the project, so they can actually give feedback directly to, you know, us, the development team, on the direction that we're going. Hey, you know, I just saw in this other project they did this. You guys should maybe check it out. We're like, great. So we're already doing that, and we're getting some really good feedback. And then also being a part of that 25+, they get 1% of secondary market royalties. So you can do the math on, you know, some of these top Solana projects when they hit secondary markets are doing $500,000, upwards of $1 million in trading volume in the first week. You know, 1% of that is going back to our holders and back to our main investors.
Do you see a point where maybe not necessarily your NFT project, but maybe somebody else's NFT project, they get to a point where like they almost have to like vet the people that are buying these things? Because like I can imagine if somebody owned over 25, of your Rough Life dogs, and they're just like the most annoying person in the world, and you're like, yo, I really don't want to get a call on this person today, and there's everything they suggest is just not it. It's not the direction. Like, but they bought 25 of these things. Like, you have to do like, what is there a point where you have to vet who can do this, or maybe another project out there?
Man, honestly, I'm just really grateful that we don't have any of those people. Like everyone that's bought 25, I vibe with everybody so
That's
far.
a great question, though.
Yeah,
I think it just comes in alignment, right? Like I'm a big believer in, what you put out is what you attract back. And so just the vibe that our team has, the vibe that our project has, like we've attracted like-minded people. Like we've attracted like a sick community, to be honest with you. Like, and it's because we haven't had that, hype, or, we haven't just had this like presence with us about like, just hyping people and getting them excited and then under delivering. Like we're under promising and over delivering.
Right. Nice.
So.
It's a ticket.
That was a very presidential way of answering that question.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I also meant to ask you, because we're building these like little plant daddies, my roommate and I, just messing around with them on, he's using Procreate.
Cool.
And so you just use like a bunch of different layers, and then we're going to take that into like some sort of program that automates and spits out like a whole bunch of different unique variations of these plant daddies, and then we might have something like 100 that are like very specific, like very rare ones with like single attributes to them. Where are you guys creating all your artwork and stuff on with the Rough Life NFTs?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know the exact program. Like ours are 3D files, so I know that the program that we used, they were sculpted.
Yeah.
So what's cool is and this is actually in our roadmap, is people are going to be able to 3D print their dogs.
Oh,
so once we're
sick.
so we're planning on actually airdropping like the original files to all the holders and stuff.
Oh,
well,
genius.
don't quote me on that, but we're gonna figure out exactly like how to do it.
Yeah.
Where people will be able to like go and get it 3D printed. We found a drop shipping service where they could get like a a dog that's probably like 4 inches by 4 inches, put it on their desk, and it'd be like $110.
Right.
So that's something that we'll just show, be like, hey, this is like one of the options you could do. But if somebody wants to go out and 3D print like a life size, they go for it. You know what I mean? Like they own this file.
That's so cool.
So,
I think what's so dope about this space and like betting on it for the future is technology always seems to exponentially grow. So like whether or not there's a 3D printer that could do it, which I'm sure there is, or what, but like you can almost guarantee that at some point in the future, the technology to be able to do all these things is going to be very, very possible. Yeah. We're not going backwards. That's so cool. That's so cool. And so, yeah, I guess did you seek out like a specific artist for your team then?
Yeah. So his name's Tom. He's actually out in Hawaii.
Okay.
And before doing this project, he actually created 3D album art for artists and musicians. And Nick Menezes actually found him, and we started talking to this guy, and I'm like, dude, this guy does some sick, stuff. And then we just showed him like some other projects and showed him we had some drawings of what our vision was and what we wanted to create. And he did this sculpture for us. I remember putting it in front of our team and in front of some of our investors, and everybody was just like, this is crazy, man. Yeah. And we like went back to him, we just made the dog a little bit more hunky, so it's a little more bulk. And yeah, the guy's super talented, man. He's actually got a contract now. He's working on 2 other NFT projects. People reached out to him and wanted him to do the art for their projects.
Wow. Which
is what I love, right? Is now this guy is creating like literally an income, building the artwork for NFTs, giving it to other projects, then they're going to go out and market it and sell it.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. Do you guys plan, if you can speak to this, having like different breeds of dogs in the future and stuff? Or
that is in the roadmap. Yeah, that's on the team side. Like with what we want to do, like obviously we have pit bulls as the the first dog, but no, we do have a vision to do other collections and really tie in with the future of the project.
That's fire.
Yeah,
that's fire. You keep mentioning your roadmap. I guess 1, where can people find your roadmap? And 2, is that kind of the same as a white paper? Well, I've heard that term get thrown around a bunch.
Yeah, for sure. Like we almost built a white paper, but it's just nobody, honestly, in the NFT space, nobody reads those things anyways. So
Okay.
what we did with the roadmap is just basically like a graphic version of what a white paper would be. Yeah. So we have like literally a physical roadmap where it's like the different steps, of our project coming up. So if you go to our website, rufflife.io, rufflife.io, you can scroll through. That's where you can see, some of our artwork. You can see, you can go mint directly on our site as well, see how to buy, how to get into crypto, and you can see our fully doxed team and then our roadmap on there.
That's sick. That's sick.
What's the mint price?
1 Solana.
1 Solana.
Yeah, so we actually just announced this. So we're going to be closing off minting on Friday, which is, I guess, I don't know when this podcast is going live, but January 21st is when.
Oh, damn, I don't think this will be out by then.
No, it's cool. The 21st is when minting is going to be closing for phase 2. And we're going to be reinvesting a lot of the money that we made actually into marketing through, the Twitter Spaces, different TikTok, other Discords that, want to promote for us and stuff, and just really ensure that our project sells out in phase 3. So we're going to be closing down for 2 weeks, and then we're going to be reminting again on February 4th to sell out the rest of our collection. And we're actually going to be upping our public mint to 1.5 Solana. So right now is like the time to buy for people, because in the next 4 days we're going to be closing. However, we're going to be whitelisting. So people have to hit a certain rank within our Discord, invite a certain amount of people, maybe do a certain task, or we'll do giveaways to be whitelisted. If you're whitelisted for phase 3, you'll actually be able to still buy at 1 Solana. So we're going to reward the people that have been in our community, and the people that actually already hold will be pre-whitelisted. So if they want to come in and buy again on phase 3, we're going to reward them for being a part and supporting us in the early days. They can still buy for the same price.
Dope. Okay, I think really quickly before we wrap up here, since we're talking about also buying these NFTs or something like that, how is somebody who has no crypto wallet, they don't own any crypto, none of this kind of stuff, how would you explain kind of quickly in a basic kind of easy way of them to go and set all this up and be able to buy their first NFT?
Yeah, so we do actually have a walkthrough on our website.
Dope.
It's a 3-step process, but the 2 best right now in Canada are either crypto.com or Newton. And so right there, you literally set up an account. You verify that you're a real person. So you can do like a driver's license or passport or whatever to verify you're a real person on the platform. And what's really cool with both those platforms is you can e-transfer directly from your bank account to buy crypto instantly.
Oh, wow.
So once you've bought crypto on these 2 platforms, once you've turned it into Solana, you have to set up what's called a Phantom wallet, which is basically what stores and holds the NFTs and how you buy these NFTs. So you just send your Solana from, whether it's Newton or crypto.com to Phantom, and then buy it directly from our website.
Dope.
That's what I liked about ShakePay is you could just e-transfer. But
Yeah.
the thing with ShakePay is your minimum withdrawal or sending money is 0.1 ETH. So if you just want to do a little bit, even $10 to see if it's going to the proper wallet, you can't really do that. So is that the same with this? Do they have a outgoing limit?
There might be a small limit.
Okay.
The reason why we didn't use ShakePay is just because it doesn't have Solana on there. So that was an extra step, is if you use ShakePay, you have to send it to there, buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, then send that to another exchange and turn it from Bitcoin or Ethereum into Solana, and then send it over to Phantom. So that's something that we were actually doing in the early days. We almost had ShakePay on our website, and then we researched these other different platforms that made it a lot easier for people.
Nice. Me getting going and Solana was the first marketplace that I got into NFTs with, but no, just jumping through hoops and figuring things out myself. I probably wasted $50 on just moving things around.
Yeah, the fees and everything.
And
yeah,
gas and this and that. Then my Ethereum, I tried to get into the Ethereum NFT space the other day, and I texted you being didn't pay attention to gas fees, lost $80 on $100. Was so pissed. But MetaMask is in USD.
Oh.
So I still have all my money.
Attaboy. There you go.
Good. Yeah.
But again, back to Solana being really good for people starting out.
Yeah.
You're not, I got to check out crypto.com. I have the Phantom wallet, but I spent so much time in downloading apps and jumping through hoops that you just want to make it nice and simple.
Totally. Sweet.
Totally.
Cool. Well, Jaden, you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
Cool. Well,
That's about it.
Dan, take this time to maybe plug all your stuff again and where people can find you and reach out to you and find your project and keep in touch.
Sick. Should I look at the camera, do a little monologue?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to the audience.
We'll slow zoom in as you do it also.
So, if you want to get involved in the RuffLife NFT project, check us out, rufflife.io, rufflife.io. And also with our Gray Matter agency, if you're watching this, you're an artist, you're a musician, you're somebody that actually wants to get into the NFT space, and you're just looking for somebody to help you kind of bridge that gap, reach out to myself personally. You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Daniel Gray, and I would just love to have a conversation and see where the dialogue goes.
Huge, man. All right.
Well, then.
I'm Jordan Powers. You've already heard where my Instagram stuff's at. Jaden Reed.
Check me out, _Jaden Reed. VisionVerse podcast.
Yes, sir.
Those are our mains.
Cool.
And
Yeah, you guys are beauties. Thanks for having me on.
thanks for coming out, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. This has been
Appreciate
Really
dope.
nice speaking with you.
Okay. Peace, people.
Peace.
Peace.